right, so we're back for another deep dive, and this time I think we're going to switch gears a little bit, you know?
Yeah, where are we headed today?
Well, last time we were talking about, all that cool space stuff, but today we're going someplace a little bit different.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so you know how we love to, like, dig into these old stories and myths, right?
Of course, yeah. Love a good myth.
Yeah, well, this one I think is going to really blow your mind. We're going to the moon.
To the moon. Okay.
Yeah, but not like astronauts and rockets, though that would be pretty awesome, too.
Right.
We're going to be exploring the legend of Wugang. Ever heard of him?
Wugang. The name rings a bell, but refresh my memory.
Yeah, no worries. So he's this figure from Chinese mythology who's, like, eternally stuck chopping down a tree on the moon.
Chopping down a tree on the moon. This I gotta hear.
I know, right? It's a pretty wild story, and I've been reading up on it, and there's so much symbolism and mystery packed into this, like, seemingly simple tale.
That's what I love about these myths, though, isn't it? There's always more than meets the eye.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics.
Hmm.
Who is this Wugang guy? And why is he stuck in this, like, never-ending tree chopping situation?
Right to the good stuff.
From what I've gathered, he wasn't always some, moon dweller. He started out as a regular human dude.
Yeah.
Seems like he was pretty ambitious, maybe a little impatient, and definitely had his sights set on immortality.
Immortality, huh? Sounds familiar. Isn't that like a universal human desire, to transcend our limits and all that?
Yeah, totally. And it seems Wugang was super dedicated to, like, studying the ways to achieve it, but then maybe his ambition, like, got the better of him.
How so?
Well, our sources suggest he might have tried to take shortcuts or, maybe even bent the rules a bit in his quest for eternal life. There's even this one version of the story that links him romantically to Chang'e.
Wait, change, as in the moon goddess Chang'e?
The one and only. Now, if that's true, you can imagine how that would cause some major problems. I mean, angering the Jade Emperor, the top dog of the celestial realm, that's not exactly a recipe for a long and happy life.
Especially if you're trying to achieve immortality.
Exactly. But I mean, come on. Banished to the moon and sentenced to chop down a tree for eternity. That seems a little harsh, even for the Jade Emperor.
Well, you have to remember, this isn't just any old tree. We're talking about the Guanghan osmanthus tree, said to have these magical blossoms that grant immortality.
So he's chopping down the very thing he was originally after. That's just cruel.
It's pretty ironic. And get this, the tree is also self-healing. Every single chip Wugang makes, every swing of his axe, the tree just instantly repairs itself.
Oh, wow. Talk about a frustrating job. It's like one of those, what do they call them, Sisyphean tasks.
Totally. You just can't win. And imagine people on Earth could actually see him up there, swinging away under the full moon's light. Makes you wonder what they thought was going on.
Yeah, it's like his eternal struggle is on display for everyone to see. But what do you think the deeper meaning is here? Is this just a story about, like, the consequences of bad behavior? Or is there something more to it?
It definitely serves as a warning, right? Like, don't mess with the celestial order. Don't try to cheat your way to immortality. But I think there's a bigger message here about the cyclical nature of life,
What do you mean?
Think about it. The tree's constant renewal, Wugang's endless labor. It kind of reflects the ebb and flow we all experience, the challenges that keep coming back, the struggles we face over and over again. It's like that saying, life is a journey, not a destination. Maybe Wugang's punishment is a reflection of the human condition itself, always striving, always facing setbacks.
And never really reaching that final goal.
Exactly. But you know what I find interesting? Wugang isn't just remembered for his screw-up, for his ambition and rule-breaking. He's also become a symbol of perseverance, of dedication. Like, he's been at it for centuries, never giving up. If that's not resilience, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's definitely got that whole never give up attitude going on. And speaking of symbolism, what about the osmanthus tree itself? I feel like that has to have some deeper meaning too, right?
Oh, absolutely. In Chinese culture, the osmanthus tree is loaded with symbolism. It represents immortality, resilience, even romantic love. So even in this endless, seemingly pointless task, there's a thread of hope, a sense of something beautiful and enduring.
It's like even in punishment, there's this glimmer of something positive.
Right. So it makes you wonder, is Wugang's story ultimately a tragedy? Or is it a testament to the human spirit? Is he a cautionary tale or an inspiration?
That is the question, isn't it?
And I think that's the beauty of these myths. They offer multiple layers of meaning. They invite us to find our own interpretations, to connect with them on a personal level. Think about it. What are the challenges you face in your own life? Those tasks that seem impossible, those goals that feel perpetually out of reach? Do you see any of yourself in Wu Gang's story?
Hmm, that's a really good question. And it makes me think about how this story has been a part of Chinese culture for centuries. Like you see it in poetry, art, and especially during the Mid-Autumn Festival.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The Mid-Autumn Festival is all about family, celebrating the harvest moon, reflecting on the past year, and the image of Wu Gang up there, working away on the moon. It adds a whole other layer to the festivities. It's a reminder of the cyclical nature of life, the passage of time, and the enduring power of hope.
It really makes you think.
And there's another interesting thing about the Jade Emperor. He's the one who handed down this punishment, right? But he's also seen as a compassionate figure. So the story hints that even within this, seemingly harsh punishment, there's potential for growth, for change, maybe even for redemption.
So it's not just about being stuck forever, but about, the possibility of something more.
Exactly.
Man, we've covered so much ground today. It's amazing how a story as old as this can still spark so many thoughts and questions.
I know, right? It really speaks to the power of these myths. They're like a mirror reflecting our own lives, our desires, our struggles, even our hopes.
Absolutely. So next time you're looking up at the moon, especially if it's a full moon, think about Wu Gang. Remember his story.
And ask yourself, does he represent the futility of our struggles or the nobility of our endless striving? It's a question worth pondering.
Definitely. And who knows, maybe exploring other myths and legends will give us even more to think about. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time.
See you then.